Hello and welcome. We're going to begin either laying down on the ground, the mat, or even on a bed, allowing your arms to rest by your sides, your ankles and your feet to lay heavy on the ground, and your eyes to close. We'll begin by arriving, taking 3 deep breaths. And our first motion here will be pressing into the balls of our feet, creating this rocking motion throughout our body. So you can see with my feet here, I'm just pressing them down and back up, going at your own pace, breathing at your own pace and rhythm. Allowing the body to rock while staying heavy on the bed or the mat, wherever you are. Our intention is to allow this practice to be as easeful as possible with little effort. Now bringing that to a pause, finding a full rest here. Let's bend through the knees, pulling them in towards the chest, giving them a gentle hug. Breathing into the low spine, into the back. Now we'll cross one ankle over the other and begin drawing circles with the knees, holding onto the knees here to help you. Massaging out the sacrum. And then switching directions. If you want to switch the crossing of the feet and ankles, you can. Just taking these circles at your own pace. Now finding stillness. We'll move on to our side. So I'm going to start by laying on the right side here, the arms stretched out underneath me and the knees bent in front of me. Placing that top hand on the mat in front of you. Take a breath here at your side. And then we'll begin to rock forward and back. Once again, continuing to breathe softly at your own rhythm and taking this movement, this rocking at your own rhythm. Or imagining as if there's just a gentle push on the low back, creating this wave, this rocking motion back and forth on our side. Remembering to keep this as easeful as possible. Continue to rock and breathe. Now find stillness. Notice how you feel. Be here. And when you're ready, rolling on to the other side, you can roll on your back and then stretching the other arm underneath you, laying on your side, bending those knees forward and placing that top hand on the mat in front of you. Take a moment to settle here before beginning that rocking motion. Forward and back. You may feel a bit of a massage underneath your arm and your side. Allowing yourself to be rocked with this motion. Mother Earth's rocking you. And closing the eyes if it feels good. We're activating the parasympathetic nervous system here. coming to stillness. Take a full breath. Let's roll onto our belly now. Curl the back toes under, press into the palms, and lift yourself up into a tabletop position. We'll bring the big toes together, knees as wide as feels good, and sit the hips back towards the heels for a child's pose. The arms can reach forward, keeping those shoulders shrugged away from the ears. And breathing here in this child's pose, allowing it to be a restful state. So if you need to adjust in any way you can, or if it feels better to simply rest, laying on your stomach or your back, you can do that as well. If you're in child's pose, come on to your fingertips, reaching the arms straight. We'll bring the right hand to reach underneath the left arm into a gentle twist. Now the left arm can reach straight in front of you still, or wrap around your back. Finding what feels good here. If you are laying down on your back, you can take a gentle twist to one side by bending through the knees and dropping the knees to one side, reaching the opposite arm to the other side. And we'll come back to center, taking your time to reach the left arm now underneath the right, finding whichever variation feels best for you here in this gentle twist, closing the eyes if that feels helpful to you, and dropping into your inner world, your inner calm. Returning to this sense of heaviness or softness in the body with every breath, inviting that in. And at your own pace, returning to center, both arms stretching out, and slowly beginning to come up out of your child's pose, taking your time. We'll relax all the way onto the belly now, bringing the hands one on top of the other underneath the forehead, resting here, breathing in and breathing out through the mouth. Loosen up through the hips here, shifting the hips from side to side. You may notice the rest of the body is following this motion as well. Just allowing the waves of motion here as you shift your hips side to side at whatever pace feels best at this moment. Now, finding a pause here, let's shift the heels of your feet now from left to right, left to right, shifting from left to right, eventually creating a rhythm so that this motion, this side-to-side motion, begins to travel all the way up your legs, into your hips, maybe even into your upper body. Once again, without force. For me, this can feel like being a wiggly noodle. So finding that motion of release here, just through this side-to-side motion from the feet all the way up. And bringing that to a center point of stillness. Notice how you feel. Let yourself rest. Now we'll bring the elbows underneath the shoulders here, pressing the forearms and hands gently into the ground below us. You can keep the elbows underneath the shoulders or bring them further away from the shoulders for more ease. And we'll allow the shoulders to rise up towards the ears. Taking a couple breaths here. Now bringing the strength back into the arms to bring the ears away from the shoulders. Relaxing down onto your chest and then rolling onto your back. We'll keep the knees bent once you get there. Feet flat on the ground or surface below you. And taking a moment of rest here. The hands laying wherever they feel called, perhaps to your sides or on your belly or heart. For our next movement, take a breath in, and as you exhale, shift the knees over to the right, maybe 1 or 2 inches. Come back to center. Shift them over to the left a couple inches and back to center. And continue that motion. Inhale at center. Exhale as the knees shift to one side and back to center. And play around with how far you go with the knees. Perhaps you stay at that micro movement of 1 to 2 inches, or maybe now trying 3 to 4 inches, 5 inches. Finding your own rhythm and pace with your own breath. Inhale center, exhale to the side. Noticing how it feels in the back. And softening here. Minimal effort, as if you're in the most peaceful place, relaxing and taking this gentle movement just because. Take one more round at your own pace and rhythm. And return to center with the knees. Take a full breath here, straightening through the legs and resting. Exhaling out the mouth if that feels good. Our next movement is a release for the front of the hip, the soaz here. We'll drag our right heel into the mat to begin bending the knee, bringing the heel closer to the glutes, and then straightening the leg out, dragging the heel out. Doing that 3 more times at your own pace. You do not need to fully bend the knee or bring the heel completely to the glute. We're just bringing the knee up slightly and then straightening through the leg. Keeping the toes relaxed. Now we'll take the heel and knee and open it out to the side and then straighten through the leg. So we'll bend the knee to the side, opening the hip, and then drag that heel back into a straight position. Twice more. And relaxing the legs straight. Take a moment to notice how you feel. And we'll move on to the other side when you're ready. The left heel drags up, bending through the knee. Then it drags back to a straight leg. Flowing at your own pace, 3 more. Keeping those toes relaxed as much as possible. Now we'll take the knee out towards the side and then into straight position. 3 more times, flowing with your breath. When the leg comes back to that straight position, allow it to be heavy with the hips. And resting, both legs out, arms come down to your sides. Closing the eyes, take a breath. And our final tension release will be a squeezing. Inhale, squeeze through the legs, the feet. Exhale, release the hold. Once more, squeeze through the legs and the feet, all the muscles. And exhale, let it go. Squeeze through the glutes now, the belly, the navel, and let it go. Inhale once more, the navel, muscles of the belly, the glutes, and release. Squeeze the shoulder blades together now, squeezing through the arms and the hands. Release. Once more, squeezing the back and the arms, hands, and let it go. Now through the face and the neck. Making faces, squeezing all the muscles together, and let it go. Once more, squeeze, 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 tighten, and full release. Wonderful. Let's rub the palms together now, creating some loving energy, some heat, some healing, and bring the heels of the hands on the eyes. Letting the elbows be heavy. Being here, receiving your hands in the darkness. Gentle reset. Peeling the hands away from the eyes, keeping the eyes closed. Let's rub the hands together once more and then place them onto your chest, your heart space. Bringing one hand to the belly, right by the ribs here, and then one on the navel. Taking a breath. And placing the hands, or even hovering the hands over the hips. Now relaxing them down fully to your sides. Palms shining up, taking a full rest. Release through the neck, bringing our chin to one side and then all the way to the other. Slow, gentle movements, bringing the head and chin over to the right, to center, and to the left. And returning to center. Letting the jaw relax and beginning to blink your eyes open. taking in your surroundings, the colors, the textures. As you are heavy here, laying on the earth, feel free to stay here as long as you'd like or continue on into a movement practice. I send you so much love and gratitude for this time that you have dedicated to your being. Namaste.